In this video, I'm going to show you how to draw this amazing otter mansion. But first, hi, I'm Lacey. I create super fun, easy art tutorials that are great for beginners and perfect for use inside the classroom. My students begged me to make this drawing tutorial and they are so excited about it. So I'm pretty sure that just about every kid on the planet is going to love this project. So here we go. To get started, I'm grabbing a large piece of paper and a pencil. I'm using super light pencil marks to draw a straight line a couple inches from the bottom of the paper, then outlining the basic shape of my otter mansion. Don't worry, my pencil marks will get darker soon. I'm adding a few domes on top. This is optional, but I love the way it looks. I want my mansion to be 3 stories tall, so I'm making a straight line across right here and again right here. You don't have to add columns to your mansion, but I decided to do this because I want it to look super fancy. I want to give you a heads up that I'll be moving pretty quickly in this video because there's so much I want to show you, and I also want to keep it short and easy to watch. Feel free to pause or rewind at any point or even slow down the playback speed if you need more time. You'll also notice a few key moments where you can pause and look closely at my drawing while you work on yours. At the end of the video, I'll be giving you a secret tip on how I help my elementary students successfully create their own version of Otter Mansion in the classroom. Don't worry about making your columns all the exact same size, and don't worry whether they are perfectly straight. Even if they're not perfect, your drawing will still look super cool. I'm adding a little balcony over here on the left, and now I'm attempting to draw a winding staircase. I'm adding some steps here. Notice how the angle of the steps changes as I move downwards. If this seems too difficult, don't worry. You can totally skip this part. You don't have to add stairs if you don't want to. I'm adding a railing to the stairs and little bars on the railing. I'm using a long piece of paper to help me draw a double line where the floors are. This is optional, but I really like the way it looks. Next, you might want to pause and screenshot these different examples of how you can draw columns. I'm going for the one on the right. So now I'm just going through and filling in the details of the columns. Again, don't worry about making them all look exactly the same. They don't have to be perfect. If you can think of a different way you might like to design your columns, then go for it. Now that I'm done with my columns, I'm going to add a little bit of ornamental decoration to the roof, and then adding a slightly different decoration on the ends. Now I'm going back and adding a double line along the roof. Okay, what I'm doing here is totally optional. I'm using another piece of paper to make a straight line just up from the line that marks each floor. This will be the ground area of each individual room. Adding this line makes my drawing a bit more dimensional, but again, totally optional. So this is the basic outline of the mansion. Next, I use a scratch paper to sketch in the basic objects that I wanted to include in each of my rooms. I'll be looking at this rough sketch as I add my details onto my drawing. I've already started working on my bedroom. I've got a rough sketch of the bed, and I'm working on drawing a window with checkered window panes. I want you to notice here how simple the basic shapes are that I start with for my otters. I'm doing an oval for the body, a long oval for the tail, 2 circles for the legs, and a big circle for the head. This laying down otter has a circle for the head, an oval for the body, a slightly curling tail, and now I'm adding little ovals where I want the legs and arms to be. I can go back and add all the other details later. This dining room is going to have a vase of flowers mounted on the wall, a simple chandelier hanging from the ceiling, a round little table, and 2 chairs. Now adding the base of my table and a little food platter dish on top. Here's a quick redraw of what a finished chandelier looks like. It's old-fashioned, so I'm drawing some candles on top. I decided to make this a trap door that leads to the room beneath it. Now drawing the basic shapes of a chair, an oval for the otter body, a circle for the otter head, drawing more of the chair, and penciling in some more of the basic shapes for the otter. I'm repeating the same thing on the other side, starting with the chair, adding an oval for the otter body and a circle for the otter head, then filling in with ears, eyes, arms, tail, and feet. Then going back and finishing up the sofa. Since this is the library, I'm adding lines for the bookshelf behind them. I'm adding a double line for the shelves. I'm filling in with books of all different shapes and sizes. I'm taking out this floor to create one super large adventure room. These lines are for a ladder that will be directly behind a giant water slide. My water slide is super wavy and has a little pool at the bottom. I'm adding a circle for an otter head, an oval for the body, then ovals for the legs and tail. This otter is climbing on the massive rock wall that's behind the water slide. Now adding the ears, nose, eyes, and mouth. Again, a circle for the head, an oval for the body, another oval for the arm, tail, and adding 2 legs. And the ears, eyes, nose, and mouth. Now adding in the rock holds for the rock wall. This room will be the kitchen. I've got a door here right in the middle. I'm drawing a waterfall pouring out from underneath the door that will cascade across the floor and fall down into the room beneath it. I'm adding a round swimming pool right here. It took me a while to get the shape right. Here's a circle for an otter head, a rectangle for a chase lounge, another rectangle for the back of it, then adding the legs. Now for the otter body and tail. Adding a couple of arms and 2 little feet, ears, eyes, nose, and mouth, and adding a drink in his hand. I'm drawing a simple sun umbrella for some shade. I've started another otter here. I've got the circle head, ears, eyes, nose, mouth. Its arms are out in the air, then 2 little feet and a tail. And now for some splashes of water. Here I've got an otter floating on an inner tube. All right, I'm back in my kitchen and adding some shapes for my otters. This otter has a chef's hat and is standing on top of a bucket having a fish fight with the otter next to her, who is trying to catch the fish in the frying pan. This line is the counter behind them and the window. Here's the sink, and now for some flying fish through the air. Over here, I've got another otter chef wearing an apron. This otter has a spatula with some pancakes on it. Here is a large pot. I've got an otter hiding inside of it, and the lid is on her head. How cute is that? Up here, I've got a cupboard and some cooking utensils hanging on the wall. I'm adding a fireplace here because it's the fireplace room. I've got an otter sitting on the floor roasting marshmallows. I'm happy with the basic shape of my otter, so I'm going back and filling in with darker pencil marks. Now adding some more details to the fireplace. This will be my bathroom. I've got an old-fashioned bathtub with claws. Adding a rubber ducky here on the side. These circles will become otter heads. Now for the tail and body, adding some bubbles because it's a bubble bath. This is a towel bar and towel. This circle will become a mirror. I've also got a bath rug and a window. I'm going back to my indoor adventure room and adding a crash pad for the rock wall, giving my otters some climbing gear and filling in the ladder a bit. Next, I'm traveling back up to my library to fill in a few more details. This otter is going to be wearing glasses and reading a book. His friend is also going to be holding a book. I'm going back and fine-tuning the details in my kitchen a bit. I forgot to give my otters climbing ropes, so I'm doing that now and darkening up my lines a bit. I'm also touching up the lines in my library and in my tropical vacation room, adding some details to the door in my kitchen. And now I'm back in my vacation room and I'm drawing some tropical plants. All right guys, I've moved up to the bedroom. I'm adding a super fancy plant pot, then using a ruler to make sure it's the same size as the plant pot on the other side. Then I'm redrawing my otters. You've already seen me draw a few otters, so I'm going to go kind of fast here. The idea is that these otters are having a wild time jumping on the bed and are flying and bouncing in all directions. I'm adding some fancy draping curtains around the windows, then adding in that large window with square window panes. I definitely found it helpful to use a ruler for this part. Now, moving over to my dining room, I've got a circle for the otter head, oval body, tail, arms, and legs, adding some definition around the chair and filling in the details. Now, doing the same thing on the other side. Going back over the details I drew for the table and adding a leafy plant hanging on the wall. I thought I'd add a cute little otter here hanging out on the balcony. Okay, we're going to do one final tour of each of the rooms before I start adding color. Let me know which one is your favorite. We've got the indoor adventure room, the tropical vacation room, the bathroom, kitchen, fireplace room, library, dining room, and master bedroom. Okay, now for a few quick pointers about adding color. I recommend testing your colors on a scratch paper first to make sure you like them. You can color in your Otter Mansion using whatever coloring tools you like. I'm going to be using alcohol-based markers and colored pencils. If your Otter Mansion is super detailed like mine, colored pencils will probably work best. I'm using a few different colors of alcohol markers for the background, blending each color and fading into a super light blue at the bottom, then adding bright green for the grass. If there's a different way you'd like to fill in your background, go for it. I'm using a few different shades of gray and tan to fill in the columns, but you could also use just one solid color to make it easier. Here's a cool trick. For the curtains, I first color with a very soft layer of purple. Then I take the same color and go back over it, pressing harder to make darker lines and add contrast. I'm filling in my windows with yellow to show the light coming through, but blue would also look great. Right now, I'm focusing on using super light colors to color in the walls in each of the bedrooms. I'm pressing very softly with my colored pencils in order to ensure that the color stays nice and light. I want the background colors to be super light so that the objects in the room can really pop out. I'm also pressing softly to make super light colors as I fill in the floor spaces. Here, I'm showing you my technique for coloring in the otters. I generally use a light earth tone and leave the belly and lower portion of the face white. I outline around the head and body with either a black colored pencil or an ultra-fine Sharpie. I'm using ultra-fine Sharpie to fill in the nose, mouth, and eyes. Don't forget to give your otter some whiskers. I want the objects in my room to really pop out, so I'm tracing back over everything with a black colored pencil. Oh no, my ink just bled all over my otter tail. I'm gonna fix that later. When I fill in water, I like to leave some areas white so that it looks like light reflecting off the water. I decided to draw a new otter tail and cut it out and glue it onto my picture. If you make a mistake, there's usually always some creative way that you can fix it. Again, I want to emphasize how good things look when you take the time to go back and outline your drawing with either a black colored pencil or an ultrafine Sharpie. Look at the difference that makes. Now that my drawing's finished, I'm going to go back and give you a quick tour of each room. Once again, we've got the indoor adventure room, the tropical vacation room, the bathroom, the kitchen, fireplace room, dining room and balcony, library, and master bedroom. Okay, here's my secret tip. When I do this project with my students, I give them a template that looks like this to help them draw their mansion. Then I also give them a 2-page template like this to look at while they draw, which is an exact replica of my drawing. I'm sure to tell them that they are not allowed to trace, and I encourage them to add their own unique ideas to their drawing. This works amazingly well. Be sure to let me know in the comments below which room is your favorite, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.